to. December 2024, 6 nights till New Year. Again and again, it's the same sensation, a sudden plunge into frigid waters, snapping me back to reality. Not exactly a graceful awakening, more of a shit, here we go again kind of moment. In the midst of this routine, there's always that distinctive first touch, the thing that jolts me back to consciousness. This time, it's the gentle rustle of pages turning, a subtle nudge back to the waking world. I crack open an eye and I look around. In his derelict armchair, Padraic sits bent over a heavy tome. Tome? Sure. Pencil in hand, etching thoughts onto the yellowed pages. His gaze never leaves the text, but he must have sensed me awaken. Good evening. I hope you slept well. Kinda? As well as one can when their home's been taken away. God, I had so many cushions. Brought them myself, you know. There was even a little fox embroidered on one. How very quaint. I would have never pictured you as one for nostalgia. Yeah, well, you don't know me at all, so I suppose that's fair. So, did they snooze through anything noteworthy? He jots down one last note and carefully closes the book before finally glancing up at me, face unyielding and cold as ice. Oh, I think I skipped 2 things. That would depend on your definition of noteworthy. But I have been pondering our next steps. Oh, do tell. I have been working for the Anarchs for the past 2 years and forged friendly relationships, with some of them, Torg included, although in this particular case, I would rather avoid his presence. You sure? That Baron of the Bronx knows a lot about what's going on in the underbelly, for sure. We should definitely talk to him. He glances at the window, clearly wrestling with his thoughts. Torg is more than occupied with handling both his discussions with the Camarilla and the issues within his own turf. Regardless, he wouldn't be inclined to aid an outsider who causes nothing but trouble. Pity, so do you propose them? The allegations against your sire. See, I happen to know someone who used to be deeply entrenched in the darker corners of the Red Market, an anarch working not too far from here. If Cassell truly wields as much influence as the court suggests, my contact could offer substantial aid. Substantial, you say? Wow, can't argue with that. Except it's a no-go, amigo. His face scrunches up in surprise, and he repeats the words as if trying to taste them for poison. No-go, amigo? Look, I get it. You have friends and contacts aplenty, but so do I. Also, I know Renard... Is it Reynard or Renard? I don't know. Cassell, like the back of my hand. We've been dealing all around the city on and off for almost 2 years. There's got to be somebody here who knows why he bailed. Or where he bailed. Padraic furrows his brow, waiting for me to elaborate further. This is the real quandary. 2 little angels whisper steadily into my ears. One haven't fallen spectacularly into the pits of hell, while the other has only sauntered vaguely downwards, spouting completely contradictory notions. Blech. In the end, I ignore them both, as I often do, and choose a third option, the best option, one where I don't have to reveal much at all. There's this one guy who hangs around Harlem. Ellie Sansaric? Sansaric? Sure. Apparently he's one of the few kindred that didn't burn with hatred for Reynard, so it must mean that they were getting along. He tilts his head slightly at the name of my, well, let's just call it a contact. Or is it Eli? Because, Ellie doesn't really sound like a very masculine name, but what do I know? Eli Sansaric? The serpent? Why? Do you have something against them? Do you know what the ministry... Never mind that. Do you have the slightest inkling about what Sansaric's capable of? Oh, I'm not fond of that look, the one filled with pity. But somehow I can't seem to bring out a credible lie despite him. Go on, enlighten me. To put it bluntly, only in the most desperate situation would anyone with an ounce of sanity consider seeking Eli Sansaric out. A perfect lead given my circumstances. I can go find him now, have a little chat, and be back in no time. We could go find him, but it's far from the best course of action at the moment. Sansaric is known to be extremely dangerous and territorial. We should not take him lightly. I propose we go to the Anarchs first. At least there will not be danger of losing our heads. At least there we will not be in danger of losing our heads. You're being so dramatic. We're gonna be fine. What's the worst that can happen? Besides dying? I believe us literally losing our heads is most definitely in the realm of possibility. We could split the party, you know? Again, we most certainly could not. See, I think... Sweet lord, this guy. Alright, time to kick things up a notch. I fish a waiting coin out of my belt bag. Whoops, sorry, I think I reached my limit there. How about we just flip a coin? Heads, we go to Sansaric. Tails, we go to Harlem. You mean the Bronx? I hate it when people actually listen to what I say. Fine, call it already. I see him hesitate. Eyes going blank for a moment. His hand almost inadvertently crawls toward his ring, spinning it around a couple times. Squinting at it, I finally manage to make out that it's a dice ring, one of those real dorky ones that D&D nerds wear when they want to look their silliest. Oh, that's funny. Just me today, it seems. Yeah, Sorrow was lurking earlier. I don't know if they're still here, but... Yeah, this game isn't as, I think, well-known and popular as, like, Bloodlines, for example, or even Coteries of New York, or Swan Song. And I think it, like, recently came out, so... Did I read that already? Finally, Padraic looks back at me, gaze as sharp as ever. Alright, but you call it. Suit yourself, buddy, it's your funeral. Toss for heads, toss for tails. I usually say tails. Isn't there, like, people say that you should always say heads, but I don't know if that's a thing, or if I'm just imagining that, or remembering that wrong. Whatever, I'll say heads. Heads. I lower my head to hide a little smile. The weighted coin glimmers in the warm light of the floor lamp as it soars through the air, spinning quicker than the wheel of fate. It lands safely on my outstretched hand, and I flip it onto my palm, showing it confidently to Padraic without even a glance. He looks at it and smiles up at me like the cat that got the cream. Tails! Fancy that. Seems we are going to the Bronx after all. What? Impossible. Truly impossible. This has never happened before. Traitorous coin! Have I not been good to you? Have I not kept you safe in my pocket all these years? Is that how you repay me? I mean, what the actual fuck? Who is he? Did David Blaine finally freeze to death and turn into this lanky trickster? How did he... best 2 out of 3? Come on, we can take my car. Well, shit. That's one battle lost. Yeah, your car. Wait, you mean that black rattle trap out front? It's a perfectly serviceable vehicle. Oh my god, you fucking nerd. I wanna, like, bully him so badly. Like, he needs to be bullied. Whose minuscule size allows for... You know what? How about we just go? And you enjoy your minuscule vehicle in silence. Great. A is for anarchy. Stupid coin. Gotta take the L, I guess. Not my ideal move, but tagging along with the caitiff might get me some answers. Plus, having seen Torque's reaction at Elysium, those anarchs might have a soft spot for Padraic, and share more than they would if I asked them myself. Alright. Padraic's car is indeed a perfectly serviceable vehicle, and that's legally all I'm allowed to say. I'm having a blast shuffling through all the ancient cassette tapes he's collected, judging his music taste out loud. Classic. Another Bohemian Rhapsody? Seriously? Huh. I thought I only had one of them. Terrific. He says it with the straightest of faces, and I can't help but burst into laughter. God forbid you get with the times, but how about a legit car radio, you know, to update your playlist? Or use Spotify. It says the one sporting a Walkman on her belt. Yeah, fair enough. Touche, I guess. Still, I do have a soft spot for Queen. It never gets old. Yeah, I agree, actually. Just saying, you're missing out on a whole lot if you ignore stuff from the 21st century. The music scene's been booming. Ever heard of K-pop? You're giving off some serious sussing energy, my guy. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not a K-pop girly. Oh. Crap, I just lost my straw inside my can. But we'll deal with that later. He eyes me with sudden interest. Do you think any of them have released cassette tapes? Aside from our contrasting views on modernity, our little journey proceeds smoothly. Too smoothly, in fact. A violent itch grows within me to tease, scratch, prod, and I can't help but give in. Why the anarchs exactly? So what's up with Padraic? Let's shake him until he spills. Well, I don't really care about him, but, why the anarchs exactly? So, the anarchs, am I right? What about them? Exactly. You've got some stories there, I bet. Mind sharing with the rest of the car? There's really not much to talk about. Come on, it's either that or me belting out every single line in Bohemian Rhapsody, instrumental bits included. A muscle in his cheek twitches, but he manages to suppress the blooming smile. The horror. I suppose you leave me no choice. I landed in New York about 2 years ago. Shortly after, I managed to save a handful of kindred, mostly of the anarch variety, although I do believe there was some Camarilla in the mix, and earned me what I would call tentative trust from Torque, and not much else, as you might have assessed back in Elysium. Wow, how noble. So, did you go from kindred hero to Camarilla's gopher? There's a pause, as if he's generally considering the trajectory of his own life. I have a knack for playing peacemaker, apparently. While Torque considers it an asset, the Camarilla thinks it is a chink in his armor. Compromise isn't really in their vocabulary, you know? Oh, I definitely do know. But if you save some Camarilla kindred as well, why not start with them and curry some favor? They're the fat cats of New York, right? I am a caitiff, Callie. My kind is not exactly welcome around the ivory tower. A rare feeling of guilt washes over me, even though there's no bitterness in his voice. After a brief, uncomfortable silence, I abruptly change the subject and lead the conversation onto a slightly different track. Tell me more about the anarchs. Right, so you've been rolling with the anarchs for a while now. Any cool stories about them? Tips on how to fit in? Tips? Why bother? You would not follow them anyway. Touché. Any cool stories, then? He hesitates briefly, his hands, well placed firmly on the steering wheel, meet in the middle as his fingers start nervously fiddling with the dice ring. Deep down, the logical part of me knows I should back off. But the readily available part, the one right beneath my cold, dead skin, lurches at this opportunity to sneak straight into the vault of secrets. Come on, I'm dying of boredom here. You must have some wild tales to tell, something not found in your pile of books. Fidgeting with the ring stops, his hand returned to the perfectly sensible 9-3 on the wheel. No wild tales, really. I mostly just talk to people. Riveting. What kind of people? Thin bloods, for the most part. I was particularly interested in one called Sana, sorry. What kind of Western horse shit was that? But mentioning her tends to shut the shut conversations down, probably because she met her final death 4 years back at the hands of the sheriff, no less. I think Sana was the girl I was trying to save in Coteries of New York, but then Kadir caught up to us. Yeah, she was the one who was killing people. Clearly not having a good time. Kadir? Wow, she must have really stirred the pot. Well, she did go on a mortal killing spree, but I'm not one to judge whether or not the punishment fit the crime. I mean, I would say it didn't fit the crime, but, like, she doesn't really know a lot about that. She doesn't know a lot about the situation, even though I was there, she wasn't. I guess I could say it didn't fit the crime. Executed by the sheriff, huh? That's quite the exit. Fits the Camarilla, though. But was it justified? What pushed her to do it? He hesitates again. Why so secretive about a thin blood going rogue? She claimed she was acting under orders from Kane, urging her to kill. My eyebrow shoots up, waiting for him to continue. He allegedly told Sana the end of the world is nigh, and somehow that devolved into a killing spree. Yeah, I'm not sure if the Thin Bloods have some, like, resemblance of, like, their clan powers, or, like, the person that embraced them, like, some resemblance of that in them, even though it's not enough to actually, like, you know, be, like, a full-on, like, Malkavian or, like, Toreador or whatever. Because, like, I thought she was Malkavian at first, but... Or she could just be, like, a Thin Blood dealing with, like, psychosis. Or maybe she was literally getting messages from Kane. I mean, who's to say? And she never questioned why the creator of our whole species would specifically choose her? Just straight up went on a rampage? For some reason, this perfectly innocent remark really gets on his nerves. Look, I'm just telling you what I've heard. I'd never met Sana myself. I just found her condition fascinating. Hey, no need to get worked up. I glanced at your research notes. I know you're really into the inner voices stuff. I'm not judging, it's just... We can end this conversation anytime you want, really. It's just that you have some really niche hobbies, you know? May interest you in, don't know, crocheting or something? It's a lot less intense than chasing crazies. Wow, fuck you, Callie. The kindred might not need air. But Padraic sighs so profoundly, it probably echoes into the very afterlife, or wherever else Sana went after meeting her final death. I'm not sure what I expected from an anarch outpost in one of the most densely populated cities in the America. In the America? The Americas, do you mean? Or just, like, the US? Maybe a sewer hideaway sitting right next to the local rats, maybe a few Prohibition-era cellars, linked by a web of secret corridors, maybe even a chaotic squat in a dilapidated brownstone. But a grimy auto repair shop with a bold red sign proudly declaring it's Mateo's place? That definitely wasn't on my list. Are we lost? Are you sure this is the spot? I can ask for directions or something. Ouch, the silent treatment. Padraic parks carefully, checking the side mirrors to see if he's aligned perfectly with the curb. Finally, with a satisfied nod, he turns the engine off. Let's go. And he gets out of the car just like that. I follow, of course, not because he told me to, but, well, hanging solo in a car at night gets real boring, real fast. Even with Queen dee-doo-daying in the background. Oh, is it Matto, not Mateo? Because shouldn't there be an E there if it was Mateo? Matto, are you there? I fully expect company, but I still flinch when a huge burly kindred steps out from the shadows, quieter than a mouse. His grime-covered arms are all set to give Padraic a bear hug. But he stops himself at the very last moment, either from plain common sense or because I'm there. Patty, looking good, my man. What can I do for you? Need me to take a look at that old clunker of yours? Patty? Clunker? Oh, this is going to be good. I grin at Patty, expectantly, only to be met with his gaze full of discontent. My clunker. is in top shape, thank you. Thank you, Mato. Besides, I can see you're rather busy tonight. Still, I'd hoped you would have a moment for a few questions, though it won't take long. Mato erupts into laughter, patting Patty on the shoulder with a hand as big as a dinner plate. Any mortal would get pulverized by a friendly little pat like that. This gentle giant is truly something else. Anything for you, my man. And speaking of, who's this you brought? Mato's gaze cuts right through me, his hawkish eyes surprisingly cool and sharp despite his rugged exterior. A split second passes before I realize he's sizing me up, and that I'm coming up short. Mato probably wouldn't spare me a second glance if it weren't for Padraic. Mato, meet Callie. She's got in a bit of a situation with the Ivory Tower. You see, well, to put it short, her execution is on hold provided she delivers the council her sire's head on a silver platter. Mato lets out a long whistle, his eyes gaining a touch of warmth and, dare I say, grudging respect. Damn. What's your sire accused of? That's kind of what we're trying to piece together. Ever come across a lick who goes by, Reynard Cassel? Reynard, huh? Can't say it rings a bell. What's his deal? Blood trade, among other things. Padraic says it quietly, sharply, with no hesitation, and I swear I see a bit of vitae drain from Mato's face. He almost drops a dirty rag he's been fiddling with ever since we got here. A tense silence fills the air, stretching like an endless rubber band. Thankfully, just as I'm a second away from blurting out some nonsense to break it, Mato speaks up. I left that shit behind, man, you know that. I know, believe me, we're not here to dredge up the past. We just need a direction, nothing more, nothing less. Surely there is someone who's still in the loop? Someone who might have heard some rumors? Mato falls silent, avoiding Padraic's eyes. Internally, I'm giving Padraic a standing ovation. I mean, I'm well aware I've misjudged my caretaker, but damn, if he's not a wire puller, maybe he could even teach me a thing or two. Oh my god, like he's labeled as Patty now. Classic. I get it. It's a difficult situation for you, but I was really hoping you could help me out here. You know, I would not hesitate to reciprocate, as I have in the past. Yeah, I know. He seems more resigned than irritated, but still refuses to speak. Eyes downcast, body language borderline deer in headlights. There must be some juicy history between these two, and I make sure to remember that info for later. Padraic shoots me a quick look, but before he can double down on the guilt tripping, I flash my most charming grin and step forward. You see, I've only known Patty here for a single night? Turns out that's more than enough to figure he's pretty good at killing the vibe when he puts his mind to it. That earns me an outraged glare from the caitiff, which I cheerfully ignore, an unexpected chuckle from Mato. I count my blessings and push on. Look, I don't know the first thing about you. The whole blood trade drama or whatever, that's none of my business. I'm not here to dig in your dirt. Survival's the game we're all playing, right? Throwing a Reynard quote out there is kind of cheap, but it tends to work like a charm. So I'll back off. Plus, I'm in a spot where I really can't afford to have anyone else in this town be pissed off at me. Yeah, gotcha. It's just that... No need to spell it out for me. Gnarly pasts are sort of my thing, you know. Let's just drop the whole thing, alright? I can hear you fine? Okay, thanks, Steve. It's just some of my VODs, like, I sound a little quiet sometimes. Like, especially some of my past ones, so I was just a little worried, but okay. He nods hesitantly, and I'm not sure if he caught on to my attempt to win him over. I really hope he didn't, because I've already scanned his workshop and caught a bait or two I can feed him to keep him on the hook. Can't hear you? Okay, thanks, Sarah. Great. I get paranoid about, like, my mic working and, like, my game sound being too loud, so you, like, can't hear my voice and stuff, because that has happened before. Let's overappreciate some of his stuff, or let him see a fellow enthusiast in me. Let's go with fellow enthusiast, but for what? Hey, you run a garage, yeah? Got any spare hydraulic jacks lying around? My leveling system completely bailed on me a few nights back. Oh, for, like, car stuff. Leveling system, that's a new one. Didn't figure you for an RV type. What's your ride? I mean, it kinda started its life as a Class C Mini Winnie, but after years of us messing with it and adding stuff, it's basically a custom build now. Oh, and it's a six-wheeler. He lets out a whistle so clear it's almost musical. Modified classics, huh? Color me intrigued. I'd love to get a look at that beast. Maybe it's just a simple fix for the jacks. Like some wiring gone bad, no power getting through. Nope, checked that already. When those jacks decide it's game over, there's no coming back. It's not a big deal, really. I just hate having anything break on me when I'm out and about, you know? Tell me about it. I used to spend a lot of time on the road myself. Yeah? What was your haunt? Duluth, Minnesota. Been ages since I went back, though. Why's that? Oh, you know, stuff, business, responsibilities, and then I just sort of gave up on it. Well, if you ever get hit with a sudden wave of nostalgia, I can swing by and pick you up. After I'm done with all this Camarilla bullshit, of course. It might be Hope playing tricks on me, but he seems more at ease now. Maybe even warmed up to me by a degree or two. You're Class C, that's your haven, right? Right on, a fully decked sunproof, steel curtains and all, reliable and minty fresh mobile haven. Damn, I really need to see that masterpiece sometime. Give me a few nights to sort my stuff out and I'll show you all its quirks. He cracks a natural smile, looking both wistful and excited. You know what? I might take you up on that offer. Deal. Just keep those fingers crossed for me, alright? I gotta navigate my way out of that Camarilla mess first, remember? I gleefully sift through Mateo's treasures, pretending I don't see him watching me like a hawk, clearly fighting a vicious internal battle, but in the end, neither of us breaks our silent standoff. It's time we head out. We still need to find someone who can actually give us some answers. Sorry to bother you, Mato. And thank you for your time. Ow, that's cold, even by Padraic standards, but sets me up perfectly. I smile brightly at Mato and wave a little. I might not call him back, seems a little dramatic. I guess this is goodbye. Yeah, hope we didn't give you too much trouble. Stay cool, Mato. We turn around to leave and I quietly count the steps, but before I reach 3, Mato curses under his breath and speaks up. Hold up. Padraic shoots me a meaningful look, but it's gone by the time we both turn back to the friendly giant. Mato gnawing his bottom lip and twisting the rag between his fingers. Yes? I really am out of that business, Patty. I know, Mato. Still, some whispers find their way to my ears. Nobody likes gossip more than a buzzed-up kindred. Ain't that the truth? Usually comes in real handy, too. Yeah, so there's this thin-blood alchemist. Skylar is her name, I think. Hangs around at Sunny's a lot. Sunny's? Empire of the Sun. It's a local anarch dive. Yeah, exactly. Sunny's. If anybody knows anything about the blood trade, it's her. She's the only albino, around too, so you won't mistake her for none. Thank you, Mato. That's all we need. I owe you big time. Who knows, you might have saved my skin there. Don't mention it. Still, we should get going. Take care. Not so fast, runt. Ooh, who's she? Oh, Mia. I remember Mia from Coteries of New York. She's, one of the anarchs. She was, I think, what's-his-face's lieutenant, the guy in charge. I think it might have been Torg, actually, and now he's the Baron. Which, like, the whole, idea of an anarch Baron is stupid to me. Because the whole point of the anarchs is they're all supposed to be equal. And no one's supposed to be in charge. Because no one's supposed to have any power over others. At least that's how they sell it. What's with the kindred in the city and their love for lurking? Or is it me who's losing edge? Miss Sorrento, what a pleasure. The air crackles with their mutual glares. Padraic stoic, hers livid. Matto waves at her awkwardly, to which she responds with a curt nod. Me? I might as well be invisible to her. Torque needs you. Now. Why? I came here to tell you, not debate you, Cata. Figure it out on your own. Padraic tries to hide his frustration, but his jaw is set, and his shoulders tight. Fine. Let's get moving, Callie. I don't think you heard me right. Torque summoned you. Your Ravnos pup is not invited. She turns on her heel and walks off into the night. The cluttered car shop suddenly feels a touch more welcoming, as if starlight broke through after a storm. Matto gives Padraic another one of those awkward shoulder pats, but it does have a relaxing effect on him, or at least it stops him erratically spinning the ring. Who's the bitch? Or Miss Sorrento? She seemed delightful. Miss Sorrento? Who is that charmer? Didn't seem like your regular run-of-the-mill errand girl. Yeah, no, that was Mia, Torque's enforcer. Sort of big fish around here. Bigger than Torque sometimes. Easy, Patty, you wouldn't want her catching wind of that. Padraic clears his throat in a uselessly mortal manner. Right, I believe that's our cue to go. Thanks again, Matto. Don't mention it, and hey, you're welcome back anytime, both of you. You got it. Later. Padraic gnashes his teeth so loudly that I can hear it a good 5 feet away. He's spinning his ring in such a violent and erratic manner that for a brief, bizarre moment, I think he's gonna rip his finger off. So I make a brilliant, as always, decision to lighten the mood. Great. Politics, am I right? The weather's nice, ain't it? Or so Matto's super cool. Matto's super cool. Not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever met a kindred as charming and likable as Matto. What's his deal? Where's he hiding the bodies? From what I gather, his skeletons are buried deep in his past. Matto used to be quite the skilled thaumaturge once. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Once. Delving into the darker arts, albeit reluctantly. His sire can be quite intense. Aren't they all? Right. I'm happy to report that my efforts seem to have worked, or at least Padraic straightens up and puts his hands in the pockets instead of maiming them with his twisty ring. Still, who knows what his little claws are doing to the lining of his coat. So what's the plan now? I have to go see Torque. You know, I was thinking this earlier, but like I didn't mention it, but I might as well mention it now. He gives me strong autistic vibes. Like, not just the fact that he's always like fidgeting with something and like twirling his ring or like whatever, or like pacing and shit, but like, and fiddling with something, but like he doesn't always read the room super well. He doesn't have a super great grasp on social cues. He like misunderstands like sarcasm and jokes sometimes. He comes across as very like stone-faced, like kind of. He doesn't emote very often, but you could argue that's just kind of like. I mean, you could argue it's kind of a vampire thing, but some vampires aren't like that at all. So, yeah. I don't know. It might just be a coincidence, but it definitely gives off that vibe. Did I read this already? I forget. Yeah, I gathered, but scary enforcer lady made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. You'll just have to wait in the car then. Look, as much as I consider your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I can't just sit around doing nothing. Then I'll ask someone to keep an eye on you. It should not take too long. Bullshit, you and your endless debates. I'll be old and gray before you come back, and that's not even an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Torque and I'll head over to Sunny's to look for that Skylar girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on. I've been the very model of temperance tonight. We've only been awake for mere hours. Splitting hairs. I'm heading to Sunny's to wait for you there. Scout's honor. He sighs, rubbing tiredly at his eyes. I miss smartphones, or I don't miss GPS. It's kind of a random thing to say, but okay. I miss smartphones. If only we had some means of long-distance communication at hand. Could you imagine what we could do if you were able to hear our voices from miles apart? Alas, reality is much more cruel, at least under Camarilla rules. We could always try using pigeons. New York's got no shortage of them. Oh, so you're a comedian now. Hilarious. A shade of amusement crosses Padraic's face, but he manages to swiftly suppress it. Look, it seems we're out of options here. You'll have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Torque wants from me, and then... He trails off mid-sentence and stares blankly into the distance, hands joining together to spin his ring. I wave my hand in front of his face, but he doesn't even flinch. Talk about being out there. Trust me, I'm an expert on out there. After what seems like a lifetime, he finally speaks up, and I feel every single drop of predictability evaporate. Alright, let's meet at Empire of the Sun in an hour. Hold up, for real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour. Do not let me down. And maybe, before I even have a chance to say anything, like maybe thanks or crack a joke, he turns on his heel, hops into his perfectly serviceable vehicle, and drives off into the night. I feel right at home all alone and without anyone breathing down my neck. Surprisingly to myself, and probably to Padraic as well, I have no intention of bailing. Not when there's a solid lead waiting for me at Sunny's. But then again, the night is young, lit up, and gorgeous, and I'm alone in the city that never sleeps. Why not enjoy the scenic route? Classic. Oh yeah, there's a detour we can do in the Bronx, and then there's Empire of the Sun. Okay. Should we do the detour? Might as well, I guess. Alright, they're both in the Bronx. Okay. Luck be a lady tonight. What are the odds of bumping into a street gambler right in the middle of New York, the day after Christmas at that? Slim to none, I'd say, but when your fate is the dealer, you just gotta go all in. With my caretaker off doing his own thing, it feels like the Camarilla's iron fist has finally loosened up, giving me a much-needed break. No forced hangouts, no endless chases, just me cruising through the buzzing streets of the Bronx, with Mariah Carey's Wailing as my soundtrack for the night. Because, of course, you just can't escape the official anthem of Christmas. I'm not a fan of the fake festive frenzy, but still, the dazzling array of lights and decorations, the infectiously high spirits and cheer, it's enough to make even a Grinch like me crack a smile. Props to the folks who turned this whole Jesus-y shit into the world's longest con. Oh, she's not wrong. Actually, I don't know if she's talking about Christmas or, like, Christianity in general, but, like, I thought she was talking about Christmas, and she's right about that. Christmas has become a bit of a con. Although, who knows who's getting conned? Is it us, or... I mean, yeah, that's pretty much, I think, the only option that makes sense. It's everyone. It's the world. It's the people who participate in Christmas. Anyways, where was I? Despite all that, I find myself craving some risky excitement. Yeah, I know, I'm a lost cause in that department. Perks the clan, so to speak. And it looks like Lady Luck is grinning at me again tonight, because despite the nearly deserted streets, I spot a small crowd gathered up ahead. Curiosity piqued, I saunter close enough to fish out a really bad gather-up routine. Street gambler. Get in here, give it a chance, y'all, because we're about to dive into a big old showdown, a jitterbug with destiny, or whatever's trending right now. Here, the cards are calling the shots. Destiny, cards, chance. It's that same familiar melody, just played in a different key this time. And clearly, someone forgot how to tune their act. 'Cause I remember well how it's done. Invite the memory? Sure. Funny. This worn-out spiel takes me back to my, well, let's call them my free expression days. Back when I was still mortal, not a vile creature of the night. I can still recall the dusty desert winds, the throbbing beats, and the neon lights that veiled my deceptions. My fingers were nimble tricks, and the crowd's gasps were the fuel for my fire. And yeah, I was a hustler, though back then I fancied myself more of a street performer, skilled in my art, only dipping into its shadier aspects to cover my immediate expenses. Because it was about more than just making money, it was about finding that sweet spot between illusion and reality. It's just that when reality hits, it really fucking hurts. But when one chapter closes, another opens, and in that transition, Reynard played the role of a catalyst for change. Who's got the guts to risk it all? Come on, throw in a bit of your time and a few bucks, and let's kick this party into high gear. The stage for this show is a dilapidated table with chipped paint and a couple of flimsy folding chairs. But it's not the dismal setup that's the most rickety, it's his whole vibe. The guy is a walking vitamin D deficiency, Jesus. Wrapped up tight in a jacket that could easily fit two of him. His hands are like spiders always creeping back into his pockets when he's not dealing or shuffling. I squint up to get a better look at his face. His eyes shoot directly at me. Hey folks, check out our next contender in the crowd. How about we shuffle up for a round of poker, you and I, eh? I can see that on the sly scale, 10 being smooth like Shin Lim, and 1 being just your average uncle. He's all brakes and no gas, but hey, I've been fooled before. And that never stopped me from diving headfirst into dumb risks, has it? Deal me in, Slick. I slide into a chair, deliberately choosing the one he didn't point to, just to throw off his rhythm. And I toss the required change into his jar for a buy-in. The jar's pretty full, though I suspect he might have stuffed it himself to look more convincing. We're keeping it real simple, with only 10 cards, no room for cheating around here. Can't sneak in an extra one, 'cause you'll bust me. If I try and swipe one away, you'll clock me real quick. Is Hold'em dead or something? 10-card poker? Really? I vaguely remember Reynard teaching me some trick to avoid getting played, but right now my mind's so blank, it feels like I'm forgetting even more stuff just by thinking about it. Alright, quick math. There's me and him, so that's 2 plus the standard 52 card deck, 10 cards in the mix, and with that, 250-something combinations, half that, then factor in whatever he's hiding up his sleeve, and that's roughly the number of ways I can get fucked over. I probably should have asked what we were playing before diving in. But he's already shuffling, so there's a chance to get a read on him. I need a plan, stat. I don't know. She said that, by trying to remember, it was making her brain, even more blank. So maybe trying to recall the trick is a bad idea. I don't know if she's going to be able to take a peek at the cards. Keep an eye on him, I guess? I don't know. I'm not a cards person. I can't help savoring the gambler's nervous fumbling as the crowd presses closer, drawn in by the rising tension. My intense gaze just amps up his discomfort. Maybe, just maybe, I can pressure him into messing up his little trick. I can't tell if he's clueless or just playing it cool, but he gives me this blank stare, totally unfazed. Yep, it's time to rethink my strategy. Playing the first round against even a shitty hustler is basically throwing my cash into a black hole, but hey, I'm feeling generous today. I'll even toss in a few bucks just to keep the game interesting. He deals, and I check my hand. Jack of clubs, queen of hearts, king of spades, and a pair of eights. I don't know what any of that means. Oh man, not bad, I just barely won. Got 2 pairs, jacks and queens. I'm far from being seasoned, but even I can tell there's something fishy about this set. Pretty easy to win when you're the one doing the shuffling. The crowd backs me up with murmurs of agreement. He looks rattled for a second, but quickly recovers with a smirk. Alright. You know what? Let's even the odds a bit. I'll show you the card, and you can decide whether to keep it or pass it back to me. Deal? I nod. It's a slim chance, but it's still a chance. He finishes shuffling and flicks the first card my way. Your choice. Queen of Hearts makes her grand entrance, all pomp and circumstance. Great, now I have to figure out how cards work. Ugh, okay, Queen of Hearts I think is good. I seem to remember, like, it's like numbers. Like, the higher you go, the, like, more value the card has. And then, like, once you get to Queens and Kings, I think they're worth more. But I don't exactly know how much. And then there's something to do with an ace, but I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's important? I don't know. I really do not never played cards of any kind. Not even casually. So we're just gonna wing this. Sure. I'll keep it. Mine. Yas Queen! Lead the way to our victory! Oh god. Definitely mine. The King of Spades appears, all business, with its arms crossed. Do you want this card or should I take it? Give it to me, right? Because it's a king. Sure, king. Make yourself at home. Yeah, pass it to me. He barely contains a smirk. As you wish. How about now? The 8 of Diamonds about as exciting as watching paint dry. So then, I guess, yeah, it's yours. Nah, passing on this one. You can have it. I make a few more calls, deciding whether the cards go to him or to me, until he's dealt them all. I'm really hoping Lady Luck hasn't turned her back on me this time. Reynard would laugh his ass off if I lost to a mortal. Then he reveals his hand. Shit. Sorry, gal, you were just a little bit unlucky. His smug, punchable face. I just know, I can feel it in my gut that he's full of shit. I don't know how he pulled it off, but this whole game is rigged. Someone's a bit touchy about losing, huh? I get it. Not everyone can handle it. So how come you haven't lost a single fucking round tonight, huh? I jerk my head at his jar overflowing with cash. No one's that good. Especially not a dipshit like you. Okay, maybe let's start a fight in the middle of the street. It's pathetic how the dude thinks he's being so smart. It makes his face even more punchable than ever. And I'm not about to let him off the hook that easy. Okay, well, we fed on one of the hunters, right? So we should be fine hunger-wise, I think. Okay, let's use presents on him to get him to confess. Shit. Confess, buddy. The tension crackles in the air and everyone's on edge as they wait for his next move. I take my chance, leaning in a bit, a mischievous glint in my eyes as I push him further. There's still time to set things straight. Spill your guts. My words coil around him like a siren's call, irresistible and compelling, and my stare pins him in his place. Come on, be a good boy, confess. You wouldn't want to disappoint me, would you? With every word, my song coils tighter around him, making it impossible for him to break free. The cheating... Yeah, you got me, I'm a cheater. Suddenly, it's so quiet you can hear a pin drop, and then the crowd begins to thin out, leaving the hustler alone with his shame. I get up and snatch my winnings with a joyous spring in my heels, flashing a parting grin at my defeated opponent. Blah. See you around, bitch. I book it into the night, reminding myself to pick up the pace. Sonny's is waiting. That was fun. Okay, let's go to Sonny's then. Empire of the Sun. From pillar to post to another anarch spot. Networking, right? With Padraic temporarily out of the picture, it's on me to wring that Skylar Duskborn dry for every last drop of intel. The area outside Empire of the Sun is pretty sparse, both with mortals and my fellow kindred, so chilling out front isn't a big deal. I blend in perfectly, all amped up for whatever's going down tonight. Still, old habits die hard, so I take a sec to study the area carefully, taking it in the way my con artist sensibilities demand. First off, it's mostly tame out here. The only dude catching my eye is this total nutjob parked by the door, screaming about doomsday while rocking that coked up Al Pacino look. He's got that wild vibe, complete with drool and insanity in his eyes. Yikes. These games are so fucking, without fail, like, every Vampire the Masquerade game is so mean about addicts, homeless people, and people dealing with mental distress. Like, okay, Swan Song slightly less so, but like, especially in regards to like addicts and homeless people, like, especially Immortals, like, Jesus Christ, you guys. Anyways, even if I was still in the grifter game, I wouldn't bother with him. Lunatics like that are more trouble than they're worth, and usually broke to boot. Fuck you. Then there's the front of the dive, which looks, for lack of a better word, loved. Despite the dodgy neon and the graffiti that's actually kind of witty, the place radiates an inviting warmth. A place with soul. Still, the Empire of the Sun sign with Zoo. Is it Zoo or Tzu? You don't pronounce the T, right? I don't think. I think it's Zoo. Scribbled next to it is so on the nose, I can't help chuckling on the inside. People clearly have fun at Sunny's and treat it as their place. A place they can return to again and again and again and never feel unwelcome. But I'm wasting precious time just standing out here. Gotta find Skylar before Patty comes back and gives me the look. I head for the entrance, doors decked out with all sorts of funny stickers. But before I can even touch the handle, the crazy guy grabs me with unexpected speed for someone so curled up. I shake him off easily and give him my best back off glare. It does nothing. He's in his own world. Unhinged ghoul. Oh, he's a ghoul. Oh no, it's coming. The reckoning is upon us. The signs. The signs. Hey, back off, will ya? Look up. Look up, damn you. It's death. Death dressed in rays of light. It's watching. The Daystar is waiting to cleanse us in fire. As I walk past the guy, his words echo in my head and rattle between the crevices of my brain, stirring long dormant fears. Can you see it? The Daystar! It's the end of it all. Okay. Watch that prophecy be totally true. I enter Sunny's acting all cool and collected as if none of that crazy shit fazed me. The interior looks exactly the way I expected. A kaleidoscope of stickers, murals, lights, and banners covering pretty much every available surface, interspersed with well-worn seating, musical instruments, and plenty of space for dancing. To say I've seen it hundreds of times before in dozens of cities doesn't quite capture the whole picture. But I gotta say, it feels like home. Spotting Skylar is easy with her head full of bleached dreadlocks. Besides, the bar is practically empty. Maybe all the kindred have gone to ring in the holiday season. Who knows? She's hunched over a table, completely focused on scribbling something in a notebook. She doesn't notice me as I approach, so I get a sneak peek at one of the pages and discover some gorgeous, intricate designs for, I assume, geometric tattoos. Nice drawings. Oh, those are dope. Do you ink people up? I plop down right next to her, shaking her out of her reverie. She gives me a confused stare. Is that a white girl with dreadlocks? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my old gig. Tough finding clients at night, huh? You could say that. I think they mentioned her being an albino, but like, it's not just her coloring. Like, her nose is... Okay, you can't always make these assumptions about people because it's kind of problematic and like race science, blah blah blah, sorting people into categories based on like certain features and then like slapping a label of a certain race on them, and it's like it's bad. It has a bad history. It's always motivated by like power structures and, like, the desire to oppress people and, like, yada yada yada. But she does have, like, a small nose and, like, small lips and, you know, but whatever. Her eyes narrow on me, to which I respond with my brightest grin. Can I help you with something? Mato said you might be able to. Name's Callie. I'm looking for Reynard Cassel. Never heard of him, so if that's all. And where do you think you're going? I grab her by... Okay, that was quite a switch up in vibe. And where do you think you're going? I grab her by the collar as gently as I can and ease her back down. She resists a little, but let's be honest, a thin blood has nothing on a well-fed kindred. I keep her down easily, but my grin widens in a manner that is, hopefully, just a little bit threatening. I usually favor dodging conflict over sparking it. But this time, my impulses steer me toward chaos, and I let the flood take me like a ship on the windswept sea. Let go of me! Answer my questions, then. Reynard Cassel, where is he? Look, I really don't know any Reynard Cassel or whatever, okay? Really playing dumb? Do I look like I'm here for games? Cut the shit and talk. I have nothing to say to you, bitch. Let me go or I'll start screaming. I guess we could maybe use some more disciplines, but I don't want our hunger getting too bad. Let's try don't. Who do you think you are? Because that uses presence, and it only should increase 1 hunger as opposed to 2. Not after I've ripped out your fucking windpipe, you won't. Oh, I'm also increasing the threat of hunters, too. Whoops. Now simmer down and let's talk. Her eyes start to wander, dimmed by the sheer power of my bearing. But for a moment she sits motionless, her upper body twisted in a decidedly awkward way before tensing up as if she's going to bolt, but I'm ready for it. I grab her by the neck, slam her onto the table, and turn her face towards me, calmly repeating my question. Now where is Reynard Cassel? She keeps struggling for a moment, but in the end just goes limp, defeated and seething with frustration. I honestly don't know. I've only heard bits and pieces about him. Any alchemist worth their salt knows of all the major suppliers in the city. So you sling ink and mix potions. That's quite the combo. Screw you. Not sure where my genuine compliment went wrong, but okay. So what's the scoop on Cassel, preferably his current whereabouts? I keep telling you, I've got no clue. I've never even laid eyes on him. Then give me something worthwhile. You're sort of wasting my time here, girlie. Love me a good chat, but I'm on the clock at the moment. Alright, chill out, will ya? I know someone. There's this courier. She delivers all sorts of shit all over the county. Can get you pretty much anything. She's tight with Cassel, alright? Interesting. Go on. Go on what? I smother the urge to roll my eyes. Go on, hook me up with her, like yesterday. All those threats, and she still hesitates to help me. Well, the time for sticks has come and gone, now it's time for the carrot. I mean, don't usually start with the carrot, but whatever. I really wasn't lying when I told Mato I'd rather not make any more enemies in the city. Look, you're not exactly catching on here. I could just take your phone and set up the meeting myself. But I'm feeling generous, so I'm asking you. Politely, I might add. You call that polite? Yeah. I can go back to being impolite if that's what you'd prefer, but I think you'd rather I didn't. I'll even sweeten the pot, alright? You set me a meeting with that courier of yours, and I'll clue you in on where I stash my goods. Her ears perk up a little, but she still eyes me with great suspicion. What goods are we talking about? I flash her a reassuring grin, and although she recoils a little, her attempt at nonchalance fails miserably. Blood stashes, obviously. Top quality, best variety, all your little alchemist heart might possibly desire. Deal? Didn't our stash get raided? I reach out my hand, pausing to give her the space to decide before I'm forced to make the decision for her. Luckily, after brief deliberation, she reaches out and shakes my hand. Deal. Hold on, I'm gonna make a quick call. I nod and relax, keeping her in sight as she wanders over to the stage area and takes out her phone. I feel a twinge of guilt over how I treated her. Maybe I should have started off with that whole blood stash thing. Yeah, well, I'm not exactly a planner, am I? And that wasn't even my decision. That was just her. She did that on her own. If this courier leads me to Renard tonight, this whole search could end in a matter of hours. Just the thought of freeing myself from the looming threats of the Camarilla, that annoying caitiff, and this oh-so-futile endeavor. It warms the chambers of my undead heart. Finally, Skylar hangs up and gets back to the table, fidgeting with the charm hanging from her phone, a real bundle of nerves. Done. Meeting's in 15. Let's move. When it blazes brightest, we'll all be judged. A gentle snowfall greets me outside. Hi, the Void, yes. Why does your username look familiar? I could have sworn your username looks familiar. Yeah, and it's saying you're not like a first-time chat, but I do not remember you. Sorry, my bad. I should start keeping better track of these things. But I don't know if we've talked before, but regardless, hey, welcome to stream. Hope your day, night, whatever time zone you're in is going well. I'm playing Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. A gentle snowfall greets me outside, gracefully covering the dirty sidewalks in a layer of pristine white, and dusting the occasional pedestrian with soft fleeting crowns. Skylar winces at the screams of the madman and brushes off the fallen snow. I, on the other hand, let it settle in my hair undisturbed. Snow never bothered me anyway. I wonder if that's a Let It Go reference. I swear to God. So, who are we meeting exactly and where? The moment she opens her mouth, the perfectly serviceable vehicle cuts the corner with Padraic hunched over the steering wheel, a roiling storm cloud on his face. He pulls up carelessly and lunges towards Sunny's before noticing Skylar and me. He pauses, face scrunching in confusion. He seems genuinely surprised to see me, and I'm suspended somewhere between feeling smug for defying his expectations, exasperated that he has so little faith in my word, and slightly regretful I never even attempted to flee, if only to gauge his reaction. Sadly, he regains his composure before I can tease him about it. He's still labeled as Patty. You're here, that's good. For now. Technically, I was en route elsewhere, but yeah. You were supposed to wait for me here. And I was totally gonna do that, but then no one said anything about taking detours. He rolls his eyes and settles his gaze on Skylar. They size each other up suspiciously like a pair of alley cats on a hot tin roof. Patty, meet Skylar, a local anarch with a knack for alchemy. Skylar, meet Patty. It's Padraic, actually. Pleased to meet you, Skylar. Yeah, alright, you super formal goof. Skylar nods at him curtly. I can see the apprehension in her eyes, so I step in, hoping to keep up our fragile truce. Sorry, King was like, my Gaelic name, please. Anti-colonial Republican King. Yeah, I might be mispronouncing that. It's entirely possible. Don't stress too much. Padraic might be a bit uptight, but he's alright. He's just here to offer us a lift, that's all. I am? Yep. I see. Skylar's eyes jump between Padraic and me, but in the end she seems to just give up on caution. Maybe the prospect of a right blood stash is keeping her on track. We need to get moving. The meeting place ain't far, but well, night couriers aren't known for their patience. Let's hustle. You're pronouncing it pretty well. Not that my Gaelic is anything. Thanks, I appreciate that. Even if you don't really know Gaelic. I just know it's an Irish name. Ah, see, I didn't even get that far. I I was confused, but like I wasn't sure exactly like what language it was in. I should have. I don't. It seems obvious now that you say that, but like I just didn't figure that out. A night courier, huh? Interesting. Who's this particular courier exactly? She shrugs, making her way toward the caitiff's ride. Don't know. I only know her by the handle. And she always wears a helmet, so it's gonna be fine. Well, as long as she knows where Reynard is, she could be a gargoyle for all I care. Not that gargoyles are known for their patience. On the contrary, spending centuries in one spot would teach a gargoyle patience, provided they were real. I laugh in a smug expression while Skylar just shakes her head and climbs into the car without a word. Still chuckling, I turn back to Padraic. Or is it Padraic? I think I was saying Padraic before, and then I started saying Padraic accidentally. I don't know which one is more accurate, but... Anyways, you done with the Torque thing? Yes. His speedy response is slightly suspicious. I narrow my eyes and judge him openly, but he is completely unfazed. More importantly, what's that all about a night courier? I smile at him mischievously, fling the passenger door open, and there it is. Padraic's audible sigh. He's really fond of his mortal reactions to my antics. Unhinged ghoul. He doesn't even get a name, poor guy. Voices of the angels, they seek poison into your ears. Heed not their honeyed words. The sudden commotion alerts me, and I'm instantly ready to pounce. The loony from before is kneeling before Padraic, clutching at the hem of his pants with his head thrown back and misted over eyes, staring blankly into the night sky. He stops screaming, but his lips quiver with faint whispers that fade into the air like smoke. Dream not in your slumber, for the Daystar will sear its truth onto your whole being. Daystar. Do wonder what that's about. I sigh and roll my eyes, ready to toss a quip about like attracting like, but then I notice that Padraic has not moved an inch. He's staring motionlessly into the man's eyes, completely frozen aside from his hand, fingers twitching wildly, spinning the dice ring. He's been fidgeting like that a lot, actually, now that I pay attention. Padraic? You okay there, buddy? No answer. The catatonic madman falls over into the snow as I approach and gently free Padraic from his grasp. Padraic, talk to me. What's going on? Suddenly his hand stops, then all of him unfreezes. He avoids my eyes and shoves his hands into his pockets. I am fine. You sure? What was that all about? I do not know. Let's not fret about it for now. The night courier is waiting. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, he's giving off major autistic vibes. Patrick is an anglicization, so he is sort of slay for telling people not to call him Patty. Yeah. I wanted to look at something. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how they describe Malkavians. Derided as lunatics by other vampires, the blood of the Malkavians lets them perceive and foretell truths hidden from others, like the wise madmen of poetry. Their fractured perspective stems from seeing too much of the world at once, from understanding too deeply, and feeling emotions that are just too strong to bear. Yeah, okay. I'm getting, like, it might just be, like, Callie herself, but, like, I've been getting, like, a general, like, more sanist than usual vibe from this game, so I wanted to see how they describe Malkavians in particular, but that's pretty much the same as every Vampire the Masquerade game that's been made, like, more currently. Chantry, Kane, figure again, a Baron, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, so I said I was going to stop at 4 hours, and it's been 3 hours and 40 minutes, so 20 more minutes. I think maybe I can try and finish this night in 20 minutes. Night Courier, the Bronx. I thought I knew every fixer with whom Reynard had ties-ins. That's hard to say. Given my role as the logistics gal of our coterie. Maybe I'm just tired, but I have no clue who that Night Courier might be. It sends my trickster senses into overdrive. Usually I'd fill the car with some kind of idle talk, whether I'm with friends or just by myself, but this time I let the silence hang. Neither Padraic nor Skylar seemed keen on chatting, not even with classic Queen tracks playing, so the Cative's perfectly serviceable car is almost uncomfortably quiet as we cruise through the city streets of New York. The night streets of New York City, Jesus. Sorry, my brain is like, it does not like reading aloud. I don't know exactly what it is, I struggle with it. I've got this strange sensation in my stomach, like I've eaten a chunk of ice. If Kindred could get indigestion, I blame it on my last mortal meal, but since it's not a thing, I guess this feeling must be anxiety. It's really not my usual vibe. Something about this whole situation makes the hairs on my neck stand right up. It feels like there's something terrifying waiting for me at our destination, just a few blocks away. But weirdly enough, my gut is telling me not to run from it. And my gut is usually spot on. As we pull up to the meeting spot, the night courier stands out immediately, mostly because she's the only one around, clad in dark leathers and sporting a helmet. She almost disappears into the night alongside her bike. We barely come to a halt before Skylar jumps out of the car and approaches the courier in a few strides. She seems eager to talk and even more eager to bolt, so I keep my eye on her, ready to give chase. She looks like she might make a run for it. It's not even a question. I shoot a quick glance his way and catch him looking at Skylar just as intently as I am. Of course she does. Oh, come on, of course she does. Or am I the only one flagged as a flight risk in your book? Well, I haven't come across anyone quite as slippery as you, so there you have it. The moment Skylar pivots and heads our way, we cut the chatter and step out of the car. 5 minutes. That's all I could get for you. Spend it well. Her hand reaches out to me in a gesture that feels overly formal. Low 5. Oh, that would be funny. I kind of don't trust it, but let's try low 5 just because why not? I slap her hand with a loud low 5. Theatrical eye roll laced with annoyance is all I get for that. The key, to your stash? I held up my end of the bargain. Yeah, I got it right here. I toss her the key, which she easily snags out of the air. Pleasure. With that, she's off into the night. As she disappears, we casually approach the night courier. One look at Padraic reveals a simmering impatience. I know he wants to take the lead, and honestly, while I'm not exactly thrilled to step aside, it seems like a pragmatic choice. Let's face it, negotiations with Skylar went less than stellar, even by my standards. But Padraic hardly gets a word out before the courier cuts him off with a sharp, sour response. Shut the hell up, pretty boy. Oh, damn. Wait, I know the sound of that walking angst vortex. Callie? The fuck you get yourself into this time? She takes off her helmet and I'm floored, staring at a face I never thought I'd see again, outside of some vampire afterlife fantasy. Jess? Holy shit, is that actually you? Is this why you dragged my ass over here? To star in the shitty high school reunion? Oh my god. Are they, exes? Or, maybe just former friends? Or maybe they just went to high school together and it's not that deep? But, I'm so desperate for, the drama. As prickly as ever, I'm dying to give her a hug, but her thundercloud of a face screams back the fuck off. I settled for an awkward pat on the shoulder. Care to introduce me? Jess's eyes nearly pop out of her head. Oh, piss off. Is this really why I'm out here? What? No. Hell no. It's, let's just go one step at a time. Christ. Padraic, meet Jessica Rainwright. I know you like it formal. She was part of our crew before she up and vanished like a ghost a year back or so. Speaking of which, we thought you were gone. For good, I mean. Oh. Was she using a high school reunion as like a metaphor or whatever? Like, not literal? Once again, the autism strikes again. Did I read? Speaking of which, we thought you were gone. For good, I mean. She seems thrown off by that, but swallows whatever rush of words is clawing in her throat, at her throat. Oh, really? Well, that clears up the mystery of the silent phones. So we're playing it like that? I fucking warned you, you dick. Not like I can text beyond the grave. FYI, I left you guys a fucking note. This whole situation is surreal. The hell are you on about? Reynard said... Ah, of course. Reynard fucking Cassell, turning shit into gospel. Her deceptively soft features harden. Why the hell are you poking around for him anyway? 'Cause I'm royally screwed. Why? 'Cause it's a fucking Tuesday, that's why. And by that I mean he's off the grid and now I'm neck deep in shit 'cause the Camarilla wants him found. Right, and who's this charmer? I'm essentially the raft keeping her afloat in the cesspool she's plunged into. I'm not gonna lie, I jump up a little. I sort of forgot he was even there. I still toss him a wounded look and pout a little while Jess lets out a hearty laugh. So I'm surfing this wave of horseshit with you? Oh, you filthy, filthy lifeline. The sheriff had him shadow me. I swear he's useful sometimes. Maybe it's the pretty, yet infinitely punchable face that does it. Right? And you just went along with all this creeping around because why exactly? New year, new me. Because I don't have a death wish? Look, it was either play nice or get up close and personal with the sheriff's sharp-ass blade, so yeah, I chose the lesser of the two shit shows. She's clearly not amused. Stepping outside, the gang has really changed her vibe. Hell, we used to get along swimmingly back when we were cramped in that RV together. Maybe a bit of a real talk is what I need to melt that ice. I drop my voice as if I'm letting her in on a deep, dark secret. Truth be told, there's something bigger at play with this whole mess, you hear me? I just can't figure out what the hell they want with Reynard and why now of all times. Jess shrugs and crosses her arms over her chest, looking like she couldn't care less. Water's wet, the sky's blue, and piss stinks. By which I mean underneath all that charm, Cassell's been a two-faced lying sack of shit from day one. No wonder the whole ivory tower is on his tail. Hold up, there's clearly bad blood between her and Reynard, and it's skewing her view a bit. Maybe. Charming? Sure, I'd buy snake oil off the bastard too, but he's always been straight with me. What's even worse, she has this horrid look in her eye I can only interpret as pity. The hell is there to pity? I'm doing just fine, thank you very much. See, I'm very much on team, yeah, like, he's a snake and he totally screwed you over and you can't trust him. I don't know why she for some reason, like, can't see it. I heard through the grapevine you might know where Cassell is hiding. And Jess laughs at that. Am I losing my edge here? Oh, honey, Cassell's an even deeper shit than Callie is. See, I've been involved with the circulatory system on and off, passing messages and whatnot. She leans back even further onto her bike, all cool and collected like nothing gets to her. I almost follow, enraptured, but catch myself at the last moment and straighten up, signaling for her to continue. Word is, Cassell shot right up to the top of their shit list just a couple nights back, based on some fresh intel they got from who knows where. Suddenly she leans forward on her elbows, looking at me seriously. This is major league shit, Callie. Could be Uncle Sam level big. It might not just be Cassell in the crosshairs, but anyone tangled up with him. Keep the hell away. Yeah, except running away somehow vanished from my playbook. I'll literally lose my head over it. She shrugs and starts putting her helmet on. It's your problem, not mine. I bailed on that clusterfuck of a sire for a reason, and unlife's been beautiful ever since. Good fucking look, though. Wow, thanks. Pause for dramatic effect. And don't bother calling me again. Then she's gone. Just an engine roar fading into the night. Right back at you, bitch. Without looking at Padraic, I let out an awkward laugh and kick at some loose stones. She's quite something. How are you holding up? Could have gone better. Seen better nights. That one cut deep, though. So, the circulatory system, huh? What's your take? Padraic, mercifully, bites his glib tongue and pretends not to see that I'm sort of in shambles. It appears they are more eager to nab Brainard Cassell than we anticipated, and they managed to acquire some incriminating intel. To be honest, things don't look too good for him. Great, and we're still no closer to finding him than we were last night, or whenever. There's also the matter of whether the circulatory system intends to hunt you as well, by virtue of being Reynard's accomplice. Oh please, I'm hardly even his sidekick. He levels a blank stare at me and I bark out a laugh. My spirits momentarily lifted. I rub my hands together briskly, suddenly feeling like mischief. Well, seeing as your Anarch lead didn't really pan out, I guess we're hitting Sensaric next. He hesitated, idly twirling his ring. More a tick than an actual need this time. It is indeed our backup lead, but only lead. Fine. At the moment, it is our only lead, but I have my reservations about Sensaric. Let's unpack this back at my haven. Besides, dawn is nearly upon us. He starts walking towards the car, then pauses when he sees I haven't moved. I tug at the fraying edge of my sleeve, smiling at him almost apologetically. Yeah, funny story, but I can't, literally. He sizes me up relentlessly. Callie, this isn't the moment for your antics. We need to move, and quickly. Thing is, your haven isn't safe for me anymore. What do you... It's just a thing with my clan. If I crash in the same spot more than once a week, you might as well sweep me up at sundown, like with a broom. He looks at me piercingly, searching for deceit which for once isn't there. Oh yeah, I think I read about that in the Ravnos glossary, like they can't sleep in the same place twice, or they burn like they're in the sun or whatever. Yeah, Ravnos can never rest in the same place for long, lest their curse light them on fire as they slumber. Interesting. His fingers dance on his hand, spinning the ring furiously. Finally, they come to a stop. Yeah, I get it. I'm not messing around, Oh, you do? A hint of mirth sparkles in his gaze, though his expression remains stoic. Let's rendezvous at my place tomorrow night. I've got a private eye in mind who might have an idea where to find Sensaric. A PI? You're not talking about D'Angelo, are you? He arches an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise on his face. Already acquainted, I see. More like disappointed. The leper's a good guy, but a dead end. Grilled him about Reynard and got zilch. Even implied it was somehow my fault Reynard vanished off the face of the earth. Well, Cassell is practically a ghost. Sensaric, on the other hand, is not exactly hiding. D'Angelo should know a thing or two about him. Fair, but he's a slippery little eel. We might need leverage to get him talking. A shade of a smile crosses his face. Leave that to me. He'll talk. He turns around and climbs behind the perfectly serviceable wheel. Tomorrow, dusk, my haven. Don't let me down. I give him a playful salute, waving as he pulls away. Ugh, look at that. Night's bleeding into day already. I really need to get a move on. There's a damp little cellar that I've been eyeing for a crash pad. It's not exactly the Ritz, but I've done my homework. It's secure enough for a quick sleepover. Time's ticking, but with any luck, I'll snag some prey en route. It's not good to sleep on an empty stomach after all. There we go. Okay, yeah, I should probably eat. I know I said I'd stop after this, but... The Bronx. Feeding opportunity. Okay. The moment I step into the club, I know it's an excellent place to hunt. Crowded with mortals blackout drunk and high out of their minds, swaying, jumping, and writhing on the dance floor like there's no tomorrow, only tonight, only now, only ecstasy. I'm gonna quench that awful clawing thirst in no time. Let's see, what do we have here? Scour the dance floor, look at the wallflowers, or head to the bathroom. Wallflowers, maybe? You'd think that prowling for blood would be easier on the dance floor, but I know better. I was literally born at a rave. Twice. And spent both those lives dancing the nights away at clubs and bars. I know my way around like nobody else. Sure, some of the people leaning against the walls are there for a reason, to take a break, to have a drag, to find victims of their own. But some of them would like to be a part of the crowd. It's just their inhibitions stopping them from stepping in. And I'm here to help them break those barriers. There's a guy sitting with his back against the wall, head in his hands, hugging his knees, frozen, paralyzed, clearly on a bad trip. Somebody should haul him out and help him get sober. That somebody isn't me. I can already sense the jazzed up blood, an accelerated heartbeat right beneath his skin, and tonight I'm not in the mood for Molly. Some of these vampires are just such assholes. How about the teen twitching rhythmically in the corner, clearly too young to even be in the club? Should I teach him the dangers of the night before it's too late? Nah, too much effort. What if they imprint on me like some duckling? Besides, I've already decided on my target. There's a girl standing by the restrooms in sensible jeans and a tie-dye t-shirt. She has a flustered smile on her face and a beer can in her hand. I bet she poured it out and filled it with water so that none of her friends, long lost to the dancing crowd, felt uncomfortable around her. Her, I can teach. I approach her straight on, a wide, inviting smile on my lips, and watch her shuffle her feet nervously. When I'm just inches away, she opens her mouth to say something, but instead, I cover her lips with my own. Damn, okay. Way to just dive in. I don't hear the surprised sound she makes, but I can feel it. The vibration in her throat under my palm. Lead her outside? Or push her into the restroom? I don't know. Depends on where there's more people. Restroom, I guess? I skillfully take her by the hand and push her into the restroom, straight into an empty stall. Then I crowd her, a blushing mess, against a wall, and kiss her again, knocking down her defenses like dominoes. Feed. Sure, why not? She doesn't protest when I move my lips onto her neck and nibble on it. But she sure minds when I bare my fangs and take a bite. Ugh, this feels not questionable. Questionable at best, certainly. Not great. I don't drain her completely, of course, even though the amount I drink is not nearly enough to completely satisfy me. Honestly, it never is. I let go after a few sips and lower her gently onto the toilet. She looks at me dazed and struggles to get up, but I put a firm hand on her shoulder, keeping her down. She'll need a minute or two before her head stops spinning. So, I just pat her gently on the cheek, ruffle her hair, and disappear into the night like I was never there. For the moment, I am almost sated. Okay. I think this is probably the end of the chapter. Last resort. Temporary haven. If your Ravnos home is just a dead memory, you've only got a bunch of hideouts, some better than others, each offering a day's worth of safety. And one of them is close by, just waiting for me to hunker down and collect my thoughts. If D'Angelo's Haven qualifies as a hovel, then this temporary shelter of mine is a full-on catastrophe. So utterly dismal it could force Tommy Wiseau to shed a genuine tear. Mold is practically redecorating the ceiling, and let's not start on the bed, a suspiciously damp mattress that leaks with some extra sus fluid onto the floor with each squeeze. Ew. Kind of reminds me of the Dogtown hideout in Cyberpunk. Home sweet fucking home. But hey, at least it's pretty secure. There's zero chance of sunlight sneaking in here. Maybe because the resident microbes have evolved enough to shut out anything that threatens their germy utopia. I sprawl out on the lumpy mattress and sulk over my dead Walkman, cursing myself for not getting spare batteries. When Reynard pulled that thing out, I legit thought he was going to wiretap me. But turns out he was just giving me a little piece of his past. A little gift from the better times or whatever. Better times is debatable. Better times for who? I mean, not that now is so great, but you know. Honestly, as if I needed another thing to play my tunes. Our gang is not as uptight about going online as the tower, so we stream just like everyone else. But I kind of got hooked, especially with the mountain of old cassettes crammed into our glove box. Digging through my belt bag in search of entertainment yields only the wooden stake that had almost pierced my heart the night before. Shit, almost feels like another lifetime. But the stake sends my thoughts drifting to Padraic. I'm pretty conflicted, to be honest. Can I trust him? He seems to be on my side, caring even. But there's something off about him, something unsettling. I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't help that he changes the length of my leash for no rhyme or reason. His mood swings faster than the San Francisco weather. It's so annoying that he's now indispensable to my survival. Except for tonight, he was anything but. Still, he introduced me to Mato. My guts screaming that this is going to be a game changer for navigating the city, maybe even beyond. Skylar, not so much. And Jess... yeah, I'll hold off on poking at that sore spot for a bit longer. At least until after I shake off the dark sleep that's clawing at me, eager, suffocating, steadily pulling me into the abyss. Interesting. Meanwhile... okay. Well, the game just saved, so I might just stop here, but I don't want to pick up here next time, so let's just try and get through this scene and then I'll be done. Vritra's cruise ship. I would say I've been more than considerate. She responds with silence and that unnervingly calm, icy stare that could easily drive one to the brink of madness. It's a weapon she's honed to perfection. I thought I'd be used to it by now, but it slices through me as viciously as the first time. So whose POV are we in? We're not sure, I guess. How long has it been now? 5, 6 months? Half a year trapped in this endless spin of justifications, half-truths and unfulfilled promises, constantly veered off course. Despite her alleged interest in my unique condition, despite our shared thirst for answers, despite their growing urgency, the resolution to my dilemma always hovers just beyond my grasp. Still, she is the first kindred to make me believe she could truly grant me reprieve. I've been holding up my end of the bargain. Not once have I raised objections. Not once have I strayed from our agreement. But I'm not one of your puppets, Vritra. Oh, that's hard to say with the R, like right after the V and then the I. Vritra? Sure. I thought I made my stance unequivocally clear. That you did. Oh, that's her. Vritra. Nosferatu, maybe? It looks that way. This cannot go on. You need to deliver on your promises, or I'm walking away. She cracks a smile, as stunning as it is rare. Like a dragon flashing its fangs, it suits her, given her true nature. In all due time, dear. In all due time. Okay. That's the end of the night. Yes. It's been 4 hours and 10 minutes, so yeah. Should probably wrap it up. Squeezing in 3 nights for this game isn't too bad, I don't think. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I like it a lot. Thank you to everyone who might be watching the VOD afterwards, and also thank you to everyone who might be watching this on YouTube when I finally post this on YouTube. I hope you're having a very good time zone, wherever you may be, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.